We are live. It is 3:05 Central Standard Time in the United States, 9:05 BST in the UK. This is the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe.
Hey.
Coming to you live, Season 3 premiere on October 8th, 2023. How the hell are you, sir?
We've made it to Season 3. Wow.
Right. Well, it's a self-created season, so, it really doesn't matter. Because we basically start the season. So yeah, I mean, and we don't really have budget or writers or strikes or any that kind of stuff. So really, I mean, we can continue to do this forever. So yes, but we did survive to Season 3, for no other reason than just make it to Season 3. So
because we enjoy it.
And it kind of feels like a Diablo season, right? It kind of feels like that. It's like Season 3, yeah, or yeah, it's cool. So looks like you had a good day this morning. You want to share the news about your football club?
Yeah, it was I'll start off what I did early on in the day. I had a nice family day. I went to the farm and I sent Sam a video of me trying to ride a tractor. Well, it's like a little go-kart.
Yeah, little pedal cart.
I'm like kicking myself in the face, kneeing myself in the face with the pedals. That was great fun.
It definitely looked like it was something for a younger person, like a kid, to be
on. Well, I could just about do it. Luckily, after one lap, Saoirse was like, "Yeah, that's fine. That's enough."
Yeah,
because I was struggling, man. That was hard work.
Yeah,
it was good fun though.
And the funny thing is it looked like in the back that there wasn't much clearance for her face and head. It was kind of like the back. It was like right here, and this poor girl's you're trying to, pedal and it's not smooth, and this poor girl's trying to not bang her face against the side of this truck.
Just one of my friends said to me, "Oh, who had more fun?" And I said, "Lauren filming it."
Right. Sit back and watch you guys just
cracking up at us, yeah.
But
funny. Yeah, Arsenal beat Man City today.
Yeah, yes. There you go. Right. And Thursday, well, then I had a pretty good night Thursday. The Bears finally won a game. That was cool. So, now they've won one. That's the first game they've won in over a year. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Bad. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
was it convincing win or?
Yeah, 40-20. I mean, that's pretty.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'd say it's convincing.
Could be the turning point.
Yeah, it could be, but not. It's the Bears. That's definitely not one game. Definitely does not make a season, and but. They've got a fairly decent schedule coming up. They've got the next 5 games are pretty kind of, I don't want to say easy, but they should at least win 3 games at minimum out of the next 5. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But anyway, if anybody's watching the channel, they see that we've got the new logo. So we've kind of dumped the faces, and I guess for every season we have a different logo. Last year, we decided to have the pictures of us where, I don't know, we look like we're being abducted by an alien or something. I don't know what those looks were. But they were bad for both of us. We just looked terrible. So we decided just to go with the logo. So that, as right now, that's the new logo. We may adjust that. I don't know. We'll see. And we got Chad's in the chat. Like he says they can do emojis in mobile now. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. That's kind of neat. Jimmy Fire is in the chat. Thanks for Dan. I don't know if he's on holiday. Still, I thought he was. I'm not sure.
Look, Jimmy, I'm drinking water.
Right. I'm not.
I think Dan's in Rhodes still. I think it's Rhodes.
Okay. Right. So we are staying hydrated. I'm not drinking water, however. So we're doing good. Well, I guess I had an interesting. I don't get on Twitter or X very often, and I had an interesting conversation with a couple of folks, and I have to look it up because I don't remember.
Is that the one that I started and you finished?
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Was it Sergey? Sergey, what his name is?
Yeah, Sergey, and we were just kind of going back and forth on it. No, I don't have it on here. So yeah, it was an interesting conversation where basically we're talking about, he basically said about the Pixel series or Pixel phones in general that he always feels like it's a beta, and he might want to go back to iPhone because he's just tired of kind of feeling like it's a beta experience. And basically the discussion I have with people is that's fine. You can if it doesn't if the current state of the device or the ecosystem that you're using doesn't work for you, you know, and that it's don't feel bad that you want to go back to iPhone, and you shouldn't have anybody should shame you into it,
Yeah.
and vice versa. You know, I mean, although it feels to me like once people get to using an iPhone, they very rarely come back from that. I mean, they maybe switch to try out an Android device, maybe a manufacturer, but it seems like once they kind of are used to using an iPhone, they kind of stay there. And so it was an interesting conversation. And the other gentleman was in there. I guess he wasn't following us, but he is now. LBJT Heretic or something like that. I can't remember the exact Twitter or X handle, but yeah, it was a really good conversation. And I guess he appreciated my approach being thoughtful and well, you know, like, you know, because I'm not a fanatic around it, and that's why I always worry about the word fan, because it comes from the word fanatic, and that's usually not a good thing, right? People are
No.
and I guess it's just I'm curious though about the tech conversation, the fact that it's kind of as polarized as it is, and you know, some people could even say it was toxic. Is that more of just the way tech is going, or is that just a more way of conversations with people are going now?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I think in terms of the tech community, like you said, the fanatics are the ones that are getting toxic. But I think it is just a thing, the way people talk to each other nowadays. People don't have enough respect, do they, for each other? It's quite sad.
Well, yeah, and especially if it's a differing opinion, right? Because now we're in a situation, and I think the reason why the tech chat has turned the way it is because I think it's just a reflection of our current discourse with things like that. Especially tech has now become almost that kind of topic that is almost is kind of something like religion or politics or whatever, right? People get very emotionally charged about the brands they like, especially if they're Apple users or Samsung Knights or whatever, right? And I did send you a video. I saw you a video earlier. It was the guy that does the emotional damage. He and this other guy were like, had this kid basically kidnapped, and they're like, you know, you're gonna use an iPhone, and they basically prove like why I like Android is superior, like camera, superior screen, superior innovations. And this guy goes, yeah, I'm just gonna keep using an iPhone. But they're like, but why? Because it's an iPhone. That's pretty much what was responsible. They were obviously making light of the situation, kind of making fun. But it was kind of like, that's what I hear from most people. That like, and I'm funny because my wife actually Becky sent me the video because she thought it was kind of funny, and I said, well, this is like you. I said, why don't you use an Android? Well, because my parents, you know, I can communicate with my parents, and it's all, you know, blue bubble. I swear to God, she said blue bubble. I swear to God, she said that. And I was like, well, you know, it's not just the color of the bubble, right? And I said, but what happens when your mom and dad are no longer around? And then, you know what I mean? And I've got an Android, your daughter's got an Android. Well, my friends do. Yeah, but you act like because, you know, they can get an SMS, right? They can get a message from you.
I use Blue Bubble.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Telegram.
Right. It's not the same. I'm like, I just thought it was funny. So it's funny. She sends me this video about how that's how iPhone users are. And she's exactly like that. It's just almost like it was, I don't think she kind of saw the almost the irony of the conversation we were having. So it's cool.
It's one of them as well. It's that they get used to iOS, don't they? And once you get used to something, you don't like to change, do you? People don't generally.
Well, especially if you don't have to, right? And that's the problem. Like Windows just had to, because Windows Phone's gone, right? If you particularly like LG or HTC skins or hardware, well, now you have to change because they're gone, right? So, you know, it's kind of funny how that goes. So it was a kind of an interesting conversation with this poor guy. Basically, he's like, I'm going to go back to iOS and kind of skip the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, and maybe I'll come back in like 25 or what. I'm like, hey, you know what? That's fine. Maybe it matures to work for you, or maybe it never does, and you stay on iPhone, which is fine. I
can't argue against his experience, because obviously everyone's experience is different. But for me, the 7 Pro was a nice refinement over the 6 Pro. I agree. The 6 Pro was very beta, we'd say in the UK. But yeah, 7 Pro was a nice refinement, and I'm expecting the same sort of refinements again with the 8 Pro. I don't think it will be a beta Pro phone, in my opinion,
Right.
but I don't know. It's everyone's different experience, isn't it?
I don't know, and like I said, and you had to expect it because it's a new, they redesigned the phone, right? They got they got a new chipset, right? They're off of Snapdragon, and now they're on Tensor, and those kind of things. So you kind of expected there was going to be some growing pains in that. So we'll see. I just thought it was kind of interesting. It was an interesting conversation, and normally on X, I don't get involved in any conversations.
I was quite surprised to see it. I was like, I
Yeah.
didn't do that. I didn't do that reply. That must have been Sam.
No. Yeah. No, it was just I had a few moments, and honestly, it's because the reason why is I've got so much other stuff going on between work and things throughout my day. I just don't have a lot of time to go back and forth, and a lot of times those conversations, I give them a cursory glance. I look at them, I go, oh, that's kind of. And somebody makes a point or a comment. It's not triggering because I don't really care that much, but it's just like, I thought that was an interesting conversation. I thought I would just make a comment on. So it was good. It gained us a follower on X, which is kind of cool because he liked our responses as a team. So that was kind of cool. And that's kind of cool. So, the Pixel 8 Pro has been, announced, and I would say that, we'll see, but I don't think it's going to convert anybody. I think for Pixel fans, this is definitely something they want to get into. Is it going to bring over a lot of iOS users or maybe a Samsung user?
Doubtful.
Maybe. I doubt it.
Doubtful.
But and then we also can talk about.
Should it though? Should it? I think it should. I think people should give it a go.
I think it should. Especially if you're an Android user, you should try to get off of that and maybe try something else. And you can't honestly say that you don't know much about it now. It's pretty well known. They've done a good job of getting the information out there about the phones and the releases and stuff. So they've done pretty good. So does it say visit Rwanda on the side of the shirt?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I should cover that up when it's on live.
I just was curious because I'm looking at it and I'm saying visit Rwanda. Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't have sponsorship for the Emirates as well. Take that off.
Yeah, I don't really care. I just thought it was interesting that they kind of put that right on the side.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So
people asking who ordered a Pixel 8. Well, I did not. I'm stuck on the Fold. I kind of put all my chips in. I guess I should have waited and see how because if I didn't have the Fold 5, I would be getting a Pixel 8 Pro. But I've got the Fold 5, and that was the upgrade I burned. So I'm gonna have to sit this one out and wait a little while and wait to see what happens. I still got the OnePlus 10 Pro, and I still got the Pixel 4 XL. So we'll see. It looks really, really nice. I'm really. This is the first Pixel that I saw that I'm like, man, I'm really excited about that, especially the software things that they're going to have on the Pro. I do notice though that there are a lot of differences now between the Pro, what the Pro can do, and what the regular 8 can do.
It seems to be, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the gap in with capability and hardware and software is starting to widen a bit. So
it is frustrating to one degree. It's frustrating because some people do want a smaller device. But what I will say is most Pro users, they're different buyers, aren't they? And it does make sense. I can see positives and negatives for them being very different.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. Because it is a Pro device, and if you get to a point where if you make it is a lot closer, then people are going to go, why wouldn't I just save the $300 and just go ahead and get the cheaper one, right? Why go spend money except because at that point you're really just buying the telephoto, right? You're just buying the extra lens, but really I would say that makes sense.
The ultra wide's better as well.
Yeah, although I think they made the phone the regular 8 smaller by like 6.2. Right?
Yep.
Which is interesting, and now both have flat screens and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm okay with the $100 price hike. I know people are kind of getting, it went up $100. I'm like, yeah, it did, but it's a new Tensor chip, and things are going up. They like I said, weren't the original Pixel and the Pixel, the 6 and the 7, and those are both priced. They were both the same both years, right? Mm-hmm. So it's $100 more. So yeah, now it's creeping in. I do too, and I think it's funny how I saw it right before I jumped on this because I just happened to be I wanted to test my audio so I could hear through the speakers. Um, I listened to a quick YouTube video. It just happened to be Dave 2D was talking about the Pixel 8 Pro, and I don't really watch Dave 2D very often. I don't know why it came up. It was the first video. I just clicked on it and started listening to him talk about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, now I'm going to have a harder time recommending a Pixel because the point was that the Pixel was cheaper. It still is cheaper. The 8 Pro at the base model is $1,000, right? The S23 Ultra at its base model is what, $1,200, $1,199 or whatever. So he's still saving a little bit of money. But I mean, honestly,
see, for me, I take offense to that.
Low-level phone at this point, you're gonna have to have. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to pay $1,000. I think that's where we are.
I don't really take offense because it's not personal, but what I would say is, so he would only recommend Pixels because they were cheaper. So not because of their merit, because they're actually really good devices.
Well, if you watch the video, I don't think that was exactly the argument he was making. I think he was just saying that was one of the things that he could kind of point to as of letting people have options to maybe try to get a Pixel instead of getting a Samsung. Now that that's $100 more, that isn't as impactful of an argument to try that as it used to be. I don't think he said the only reason I only suggested Pixels is at $899. That wasn't the argument at all. He was just saying,
oh, okay.
That was one of the,
I'll let him off there.
Right. It was one of the features that really can kind of be, hey, not only do you get all this capability and you got a really good camera, it's actually a lot more price competitive for what you get at $899. And that's true. But again, my argument's going to be people who are buying the phone straight up are trading in for it, or people are going to their carrier who may have a 6 or a S10 or an S20 or whatever, and now they're finally saying, I'm going to try this Pixel thing and go for it, right? And then they're going to be doing it on a carrier plan. So if you figure it, if they're doing it on a carrier plan, let's say they're doing it for 2 years. Let's just say that's 2 years. So that's 24 months, right? $100 divided by 20, it's like $4. I mean, you're already into the thing for $35 or $40. Like, I don't think anybody's going to stress $4.
No.
And even the people are buying it straight up, you're probably trading in another Pixel or another device, and you're getting some kind of a deal, right? You're getting money off of it. So you're not paying full retail. And even if you are paying full retail, you're still underneath an S23 Ultra, right?
See, in the UK, we do 36 months more now because the devices have got so much more expensive.
Right. And I see that too, 36 months. So even if it's 36 months, $100 is even cheaper.
Even now less difference. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
We're at, what, $3? It's like $3 and some change, right? It's just, again, I'm not, this is the argument I always hear. It's like, it's the price. And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to discourage people from having a conversation about affordability. What I'm saying to you, though, is it's like a lot of people, nobody is really going to a dealership and buying a new car or even a used car straight up cash on the barrel. Not many people are doing that, right? So they're financing everything now. And then so it's like, and again, I don't have a problem with it, especially considering they are offering some more software, and it's a new chipset. So, hopefully we have some better thermals and some better, maybe a small processing improvement, not crazy. But I don't, again, now if it went up like $200 or $250, now we're starting to have a conversation about, okay, now your price comparing to an S23 Ultra, that's a harder sell for people who are doing side-by-side comparisons, or who are people who are maybe on an S22 and they don't want to take this. They like the Pixel, but that extra few $100 of savings was a little bit of a better pill to swallow. It's like, oh, this one's only $1,000 instead of $1,200. Okay, well, that's not too bad.
So I think they are comparable devices, though, the S23 Ultras and the 8 Pro, definitely, because you've got the same array of cameras pretty much. Obviously, the Ultra's got a further zoom, but the zoom's pretty damn good on the Pixel.
Well, I can tell you one thing. We're like, usually the chat's pretty kind of chill, and this is a pretty good topic. So Shark's in the chat, so let's just start reading some of this stuff, right? So all sorts have been upgraded. Tensor 3, Let's see. Yeah, Michael Cochran. There he is. I knew he'd be in here somewhere. He's using the other chat with Gigi the other night. I was on there.
He's always got some good points.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And then we got, let's see.
Sam, you got to read them out. You got to actually read them out. We're doing a podcast.
I forgot. Ibrahim's like, I'm sorry, but despite a popular tech tuber, he was talking nonsense. Well, again, yeah, and I think that was to Ibrahim's point. I did not really kind of develop that statement by Dave as well as it should. If you're once you watch the video, you can see, but I don't think he was saying that. I think he was saying more of it. It's one less thing that I have. It's more, you know what I mean? I just said it earlier, so you know what I mean. I don't think Dave was saying that. The only reason I suggest Pixels is because they're cheaper. That wasn't.
Yeah, I get it. It was one of the reasons.
One of our opinions of 7 years of software support. Nobody's keeping a phone 7 years. Okay, so what that is, though, well, I will tell you.
I'll let you know. A lot of people do.
Well, not Android device.
But
and it's not because I'm not worried so much about the software updates, but in 7 years. The technology, as far as we're going to be on at that point, we assume it'd be Android 20, right? If they keep the scheming going with the numbering, right? But also now you've got a G3 chipset, and now you're talking about a phone that is now 6 years old. That is now, if you keep again going with the numbers, now you're on a phone that's got a Tensor G10, right? It's like a computer. Like your PC. I'm like, if you've got an old PC that's 7 years old, it's like it's almost non-usable at that point.
Yeah, but the battery's going to be kaput.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing too. But I mean, hopefully, we have some better chances of people replacing batteries, that kind of thing. But but for me, it would be coming to a person like, let's say I went and bought a Pixel 4 XL. Of course, it's out of service, right? It's out of life. It's stuck on Android 13, right? For a person like me who maybe wants to go back, let's say 3 or 4 years from now and get a Pixel 8 and get it for like maybe $200, I know that if I buy it even 4 years in, I still got 3 more years of OS updates that are coming through.
Yeah.
So I think that lands better for the Android space. It lands better in the resale and market, or for people who are trying to save a bunch of money and I want to get a Pixel 8 Pro because it's now a 3-year-old device. I know it's still going to be solid. The problem when you buy a 3-year-old device now is like, well, I know that it's not going to get a software update. Might get some security patches for a year, and then that's it. It's stuck on whatever version of Android it's stuck on. So we'll see. I don't think they're not going to do it. I think they have to now because I don't think they realize how much consternation offering that is stirred up. They got to stay to it now. You can't pull the plug.
Oh, yeah. You definitely got to.
Even if the Pixel line ceases, they still got to stay with it.
When it comes to their updates, Google are pretty good on that. When it comes to closing services, that's a different matter. But with updates, they're pretty good, true to their word. But I've got two thoughts on this, Sam. Like Jibby's right, most people don't keep their device for that long, but they often hand them down in the family.
Right.
Yeah. That happens a lot. And that's where the 7 years is good.
And it does. It depends on who you have, right? Because some people have to leverage that phone. They can't hand it down to a family member because they got to use it for a trade-in. That's
my second point. So hopefully, with the 7 years thing, that it holds a bit more value. So my 7 Pro, I sold it through Mazzillion, right, for $550, but I end up taking $478 because of fees. Dude, that phone's worth 950 quid just a year ago.
Right.
It's bad.
I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, I think we're now, phones are going to be like everything. I mean, except it's an iPhone. Because the resale value is good. And I would argue the reason why the resale value is good is because they hand them down, but people retain them longer. So there's not as many iPhones in the used market as there are Android devices. One, because there's only one OEM, and two is because people are keeping iPhones for 3, 4, 5 years. So it's really simple, right? To me, it's always been the reason why Android phones are less is because you have 10 different OEMs. They're all in the space, and people are getting rid of them, and they're trading them in, and they're trying to move on to the next one. Not everybody's upgrading their iPhone. A lot of people, I know a lot of people who have a 10R. I know a lot of people have an 11 and an iPhone 12 and even a 13. They're keeping those things for 2 and 3 years. They don't. To me, regular iPhone users don't, and really a lot of Android users, really, they don't really upgrade their phones every 2 years unless some kind of deal comes through or they go into their carrier store and they say, hey, you can do this and that and the other thing. But I don't think a lot of people are doing yearly upgrades as much as we think they are.
Definitely not. Because we're techies, we think that, but
right.
Like loads of people go as soon as they can pay off their device. They go to a SIM only deal because SIM onlys are cheaper anyway. Because your airtime links to a device are always more expensive.
Right.
So,
and this is a good point by Mike, as he said, it's kind of a chicken and egg argument. Maybe we don't keep their devices long because they have very long. Jesus Christ, today. Maybe we don't keep our devices very long because they have long lifespans or long spans. We're conditioned to get rid of them, right? So they're always saying, hey, upgrade to the newest thing, right? We as consumers and customers have been conditioned that this is the new phone, so you have to upgrade because look, we've upgraded the camera, or now the battery's better, or now we're on USB-C or whatever, right? So it's a little bit of that too, is because remember, the companies make more money the more units they sell. So clearly there's a very much a motivation to push device upgrades every year. So
yeah, the marketing 40% more lighting, 60% quicker.
Right. Question, is the A series continue? Oh yeah, the 8A. Well, I don't know, man. I think the 8A might be the last one, but I mean, here's the thing though: the 8A is going to have to be. My question is, how far can you degrade the experience and sell it? And like, you know what I mean? It's like, let's say you've got what the Pixel 8 is, what, $799 or $699? I can't. $700, right? 700. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. How far can you get with the A series affordability versus, you know what I mean? It's a real hard thing to hit, right? Because you got the A series, it's plastic, okay, fine. Same chipset, okay, but camera capability looks, you know what I mean? How far can you get it where it's like, okay, well, I can get it to $449, but now by the time the A series comes out, the regular 8 is now almost near, you know what I mean? So it's like, it really is a hard situation for them to come out with a more budget device 6 months into the cycle.
Yeah, I think it needs to come out sooner.
It has to come out at the same time. It has to be, they would have to offer the 8 Pro, the 8, and the 8A all at the same time, come across the board. This whole staggered approach, I don't think they're thinking, because by the time like the Pixel 8A comes out at $449, well, guess what? Now, because I'd have to assume that the 8A would have a similar price bump, maybe $50, right? Now it's at $499 or $529, right? So now you got $700 and $529. It's 6 months, but now this, you can, on the resale market, now the 8 you can get it for like $630. Well, then why not just get the 8? You know, it's like, why get, unless you're a fan of the A series phones. I think the strategy of this staggered approach when it comes to the budget, I think it's causing problems now because of the phones depreciate. I mean, hell, look right now. I saw a Pixel Fold. How long has the Pixel Fold been out? 3 months? 3 months, right? Maybe 4. We're already seeing, I see folds now, Pixel Folds on Swappa for $1,150. It'll go, I guarantee you will find before the end of the year, I bet you'll find somebody who's sub $1,000 on that.
I'll tell you what, you'll see a lot on Swappa soon. Some Pixel Watch Gen 2.
Yeah.
You know, whenever there's a free gift, you just see loads of them everywhere.
Right. Let's see what else. What else we got here? But more than that, you can now buy Pixel 8 in 3 years and it'll still get 4 years of updates. Go to buy it at 30 cents on the dollar. Still, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's what's kind of nice about it is now you've got a choice if you're a consumer, right? Get a Pixel 8A for maybe $250, right? Or at that point, get a Pixel 10, right? At $800 or $750 or whatever. So now you've got a choice. I would argue that this could be a problem for Google because now you're going to have a lot of people are going, screw getting the 10 unless it's marketably better, right? I'm just going to go ahead and spend $200 and I guarantee you right now, if that Pixel 4 XL was really getting a lot of updates, and let's say it got another 2 years of updates, I think I would probably rock that as a daily driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could quite easily rock the A series as a daily driver.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know. I mean, the one of my coworkers has a Pixel 7a, and she loves the thing. And actually, she came from LG. Matter of fact, she actually bought my old LG G8X and used that for a couple of years before it finally just wasn't working for her anymore. And then she went out and bought a Pixel, and she loves it just because of the cameras. She goes, man, the cameras on these. She likes to go to the Missouri Botanical Garden, and that thing is just like, it takes awesome pictures, man.
I mean, if we're honest,
yeah,
I could go back to a Pixel 5 with the 7 series chipset in there, and that could be my daily driver. Easily.
Right.
It had a nice enough screen, decent enough cameras. The battery life was fantastic. Capacitive fingerprint scanner. It's just because I'm a techie, I buy new phones. But if we're realistic, we could easily just go back to a Pixel 5.
Yep, and even if Pixels just continued, or in 4 or 5 years, you're still going to have Android updates, MQBH at all. They must understand that. Yeah, I mean, I will tell you that I'm glad that Google has finally decided to do that, because now we're in that. Now we're starting to develop, like, they want to try, and this was the other point I was making, is Google's trying to get to where Apple is, having software support, having an ecosystem. I mean, clearly look what Apple has done with their products and their ecosystem. And clearly Google is trying to get to that level as the proper counterbalance to Apple, right? And I think he can get there, but they're behind the 8 ball. And for people to say, well, they're just copying Apple, no, they're finding a business model for a mobile division and a mobile phone space and an ecosystem for mobile devices and computing devices that's successful and that works. And that's what they're trying to do. They saw Apple. What do you think Apple does? What do you think Apple is like? Apple's finally getting USB-C, right? It's like they all do that. They're trying to.
Yeah, they've definitely taken a leaf out of Apple's book. Like, look, they're trying to do their own software and chipset together, hardware and software. Makes sense, right? They're marketing their phone just like Apple do. Makes sense.
Right. I mean, it's what works. And the funny thing is do you honestly think that car manufacturers would be going this hard at this point into EV if it weren't for Tesla?
Yeah,
not a fucking prayer. No way. Not a fucking chance. No, they're just not. And then that's the problem, is that market disruption is what causes, it's like a lead blocker, right? I mean, football, American football, right? It's like they got to clear the way and go, okay, that's how we can do it. And that's what I think they're going to get to. They're just a couple of years behind, and I think they're trying. So, and let's see, we got Barry's comment here. It's a great point by Michael. I'll never trade another Pixel device higher than a 7. Just when you're done with it, give it to a family member and just buy it, use it for 2 or 3 years, hand it off to your son or daughter or cousin or friend or whatever, and buy yourself a Pixel 9 or 10, and then you're good to go. Right. I think that's probably what and that's pretty much what iPhone users do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where we are. Right. And they don't need, and I agree, they don't need an A series. They used to use discount. Yeah, that's it. So if the 7 comes out, just make the 7, 40% off or 35% off, and just cut the deals in their store and you can be fine. Years and years of service. Absolutely.
Yep.
Hand-me-downs. Yep, that's cool. And it'll work and you don't feel bad about it. I recommend trusting. Yeah, I would recommend trusting what Marquez in his video if you can trust Google. Can you trust Google? It's funny. I thought there was another creator that had a Can You Trust series and people used to give him shit for it. So now it's Can You Trust Google?
And that's what I said earlier. I mean, with updates, I think you can.
Yeah. Well, I think now with maybe Stadia and other things. I mean,
services, maybe not. Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing you have to understand. In a large company, there are different divisions inside that company, right? And they're all fighting for R&D and development dollars and program managers, right? They all have these things. They got to be viable. And sometimes their internal teams have to fight in amongst each other. And the services divisions have to fight and find a way to make these things profitable and usable. Now, my argument would be with Microsoft and Google is I think they kind of give up too early on it. I think they have I think they have a lot more runway to absorb not even losses, even if they're absorbing losses. I mean, these are $1 trillion valued companies, right?
Yeah.
I think they could take it on the chin for another, 12 to 16 months. I think that's their problem, is they think they get off of these devices too early or initiatives too early before they really take. And then, like I said, having Google Stadia isn't a completely insane technology. It's a pretty much, it's a hand,
What was that one called? Pixel Pass, wasn't it? Is that what it's called? No one actually got to upgrade on it.
Yeah, he goes, and I would recommend trusting Mark. It said in his video, if you can trust Google, and he was saying you should trust the product for what it is instead of what it will be. Or I guess it cut him off. I don't know. Let me see if he expands on this a little bit later. Okay. Now he does. So I'm assuming that's what the comment is. Yeah, I mean, you have to trust the product for what it is. Sure, that's fine, but that's bullshit. I'm sorry, because you're not doing that. You're trusting the brand. You mean to tell me, don't. I bought this iPhone 15. I trust it for what it is now, a overheating, broken piece of shit. But now it's been software patched, and now it works fine. So you literally you don't trust the product for what it is. It's what it became. That's the whole point of that, right? It's like that argument makes sense. You don't buy a phone based on what it's going to be in 3 years from now, but you have to because you're going to be using it 3 years from now. So you have to consider that as a thing. It's like, will they do the things that they say they're going to do? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand that argument. It's like, I don't think Marquez is at all dumb at this point, but this is now another comment he's made where I'm just like, but you have to figure in, you're going to keep this device well, you won't, but everybody else will, right? Everybody else is keeping this device for 3 years. So you have to think about the product as it is. Also, the product capabilities.
Bit of both, yeah.
How will it age? Will it be supported? Will they fix problems with it? I mean, if it's a software.
The whole iFixit thing's quite good.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, yeah. Anyway, when do I think Google's going to make a Flippy boy? Maybe. I think it depends on how the Fold does. I'd have to think that Google's happy with the Fold. I think a lot of it's got a lot of good. I mean, even though there's some negative stuff about it compared to the Fold, right? Because it doesn't fold flat or whatever. I think they're probably pretty happy with a first gen foldable product. I think it's been a fairly decent success if they ask. Now, will Google stay with it? That's always going to be the issue, right? With they're going to ditch it.
Pixel Flip. I think I could see them doing it if the A range did go.
Yeah, ditch the A range and lean into a Pixel Flip.
Yeah,
I can see that happening. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see, but maybe I'm wrong about Marquez again, and that is just me again. You have to always qualify these statements now because everybody all you get people who are supporters of them, and it's just like I'm not claiming that I'm smarter than Marquez. That's not that, and I'm not even saying he's wrong here. My argument would be I think you have to consider both things: the current state of the device as you buy it, and then what its future capability will be. That's my argument. I don't think you should buy a device and that's the only thing you think about. I think you have to think of both simultaneously.
Perhaps he's saying that you shouldn't solely buy it on promises.
Right, and you shouldn't solely buy it on what it is now. You need to buy it for what it is now.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically, does it work for you? Is it an upgrade that you're willing to spend money on? Do you want to spend the money on it? And then if you're going to keep the phone, will the company support it? And, if there is an issue with it, will they address it? And will that software get better and will that phone be still what you expect it to be and expect it to perform even years later? So that way you don't have to be in the cycle where you're having to upgrade. We feel like you're having to upgrade every year or 2 years. That's my point. It's like, because I know there's going to be in this, maybe not in this channel, but somebody's going to be leaning hard into Marquez and go, well, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's like, no, I don't know what I'm talking about necessarily. This is just an opinion, right?
So I think if you're considering a Google phone, right, you need to think, do you see value in AI? Like, that's got to be a consideration, definitely.
Right. I don't know how I feel about the whole. I was okay with Top Shot because it was still the actual picture, right? Just picking the best picture out of that cluster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about the AI face thing. I don't
know
how I feel about it. I like it, but it's getting a little eerie now. Now we're starting to get a little like, okay, this thing can make faces. And I know, the difference with Top Shot is that's not artificial. That shot was part of the scene. It just happened to grab little micro shots, right?
Mm.
I think I don't know what they're calling it, top face or whatever. It's really an AI generated image. It's, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's necessarily.
No, it's actual images taken. It's just it takes multiple images. So it's like bracketing.
Right now, you're superimposing a picture. But I mean, what I'm saying is the face has to match the body position. I don't know. It looks.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I like it as a feature. I do like the fact that you can actually take a person, like if they're off left to center, you can pick them up and move them.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. Because you want to have the ability to post process, make the shot differently. But I don't know, man. Just
for your general user, right? How many group shots do you take, and there's someone who's looking away, or someone who's like closed eyes or something like that? It's really frustrating. This fixes that. So there's a lot of value in it, and people are going to love it.
Right, I do too. I
know what you're saying, but
I'm just starting to get to the point where I'm like, how far is this going to go? Where we're going to be?
Well, that's the thing. Images. We don't know some of the images we see sometimes, whether they're AI generated or not.
Right, I don't know. That's what I mean. Like I said, I think it's I think the technology is utterly amazing. Like if you would have told me 5 years ago that a phone could do that, I'd be like, that's pretty bonkers, right?
Cool.
It's fantastic. So let's see what else, man. We got tons of comments. You guys are awesome today. Like usually, you guys are talking, but man, holy cow, you guys are really having good kind of stuff in here. And I'm like, Google has already stated that there won't be a fully truly budget Pixel anytime soon, if ever. It wouldn't shock me if they discontinue the A series, especially. Yeah, I agree. And then Scoop's in the chat, Scoop, and he's a 7A guy. I can't argue with that. I like the 7A.
Again, they're smaller, so some people like a smaller device. But is that why they've made the 8 smaller? Because they're going to ditch the A.
Maybe. Or just maybe because it's like, well, let's make it a little smaller because there may be some people out there that we are hitting, right? People who want a smaller, more pocketable, they don't need the big, huge, Samsung S23 Ultra style phones. Yep. People will just buy slightly order flagships at lower prices, knowing the software. Yeah, and I agree. And I think that's a win because Google doesn't care. That means you're handing down the device and you're keeping a Pixel device in somebody's hand. That's fine. We don't care. At this point, it's fine. Because remember, if that phone goes out of software support, they may now go to a Samsung at 5 years of support. They may defect to getting another device, or maybe go down to a budget Samsung. They'll leave Pixel, and you want to retain those people. The whole point of Apple's success is because people get into iOS and they don't want to leave the iPhone. They like what they're getting, and as long as they're maintaining the status quo and giving their customers a little bit of what they want, regardless of if it's innovative or a copy from Android or whatever. That's the whole point. They want to keep those devices in families, and they realize the customers they're looking for are their 10 and 12 and 13-year-olds, the future customers who can't even imagine a world using an Android device because they've used a parent's iPhone for the last 4 years, their whole life, right?
Another thing that proves your point about them being family orientated, right? The Pixel tablet is for families, for multiple users.
Yeah.
That's obviously their goal. That's what they're looking for.
Yep. If Samsung announced OS updates, MKBHD would probably call it the biggest advance in Android.
Yeah. I like this comment.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't understand what it is. I don't think it's active bias. I don't think he's actively doesn't like Pixels. I think it's an unconscious thing that people do. I think he likes a Pixel. I don't know but the question is it's pointless to ask what he uses as a daily driver because he changes phones so often, right? And yes, and Luis is in the chat, and yes, they do have a software ecosystem. I agree, and but it's not as developed as Apple's, and I think that's the point. They're trying to get to that, and I think it's a lot farther along. I think they've even eclipsed Samsung. I know Samsung has a software ecosystem too, but I would argue that I think Google's really leaning into it and trying to push for it. So we'll see what's going on. I don't know, but it's all good. It's good for us because now we're starting to kind of see other players kind of start to get into the space and really start to kind of be effective for the customer, right? Because win here at the end of the day, because you have a lot of choices. Google is still selling the Pixel 6a on their website for $350. I wish they would just stop selling it, or because who's going to buy it?
Michael's right. They need to compete with like the SE4 and the A54. They need to compete.
Right, but the only thing I would suggest is I would keep the A series, but make the A series come out the same time as the other two.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it should come out, if not the same time, a lot closer.
Right. Yeah. I don't wait for that market. Don't wait for the depreciation of the budget, the 8 or the 7 to cut into the 6A or 6AA.
Because you got the Samsung S23 FE coming out now, haven't you?
Right. And the answer is no. We don't trust ourselves. That's why we rely on you fine folks to keep us grounded and keep us sane, because me and Joe don't trust each other.
Keep us grounded. That's Dan's job.
That's
Grounded
John.
tech.
Grounded tech. Yeah. So yeah, we don't. Well, I trust Joe. It's just that I think I'm a general moron. So whatever. It's fine.
I don't trust me.
Right. And this is a fair point from Michael. I don't necessarily think that, because I think there's a lot of. I think what he's got over 1 million now, right? Techspert. I trust him really a lot.
Implicitly, I couldn't get it out then.
Implicitly, yeah, that would be a tough word for me to say too. But yeah, I just, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with this statement. I think there's a lot of YouTubers that have a lot of subs that I really, to me, it's like, I guess
I think I know what Michael means.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Because in order to get that level of stratosphere, you have to start to kind of play the game where you kind of wishy-washy and waffle and kind of, yeah. Again, that's where it's going to be interesting, because I don't think that's necessarily what you have to do to be successful. I think it's a proven way to become a successful YouTuber with 5 or plus million subscribers. However, I would argue that the more subs you have, the more scrutiny will come your way, right? Because if you have 1 million, I don't know. And that's a good conversation. We should maybe dive into that longer about it, because there's a couple different thoughts I have and kind of ways that could kind of go. But I agree. I think that it could be challenging if you have that many subscribers. Luckily, I don't think we're ever going to run into this problem as a dilemma for us, because I don't think we're ever going to live in that space.
Although we are very close to 9,000.
Oh,
very close.
On the Nomad Tech Project YouTube channel. Absolutely. Just check that out. So we're moving on that. Like I said, Pixel season's upon us. I think we have more Pixel users. And even though that's not a Pixel branded podcast, and clearly we are fans of Pixel, but that's not all we talk about. Although if you're listening to this show right now, it's season 3, you're kind of thinking, Jesus, these guys are really talking about Pixel a lot.
We have changed our name away from Purposely Pixel, and then we just talk about Pixel.
And we basically spent an entire episode talking about Pixel shit. So
it's topical. It's what's about now, isn't it? Comes out next week.
Yeah, it's the new hotness. So of course we're talking about it. And yeah, and Jason, yeah, Painful Ass Tech did that. And can you trust MKBHD? I know, kind of ironic, right? That's okay. I don't think he stole his content. I just think it was just funny, because the first thing, can you trust Google? The first thing in my mind was Painfully Honest Tech's Can You Trust series.
Barry's made it.
I thought they were pretty good comments. Let's see.
Barry's really excited for a feature I am excited for, and that's video boost.
Oh, then I like the night mode. Also, the night mode on video. That's gonna be kind of cool to see.
Dude, having an editor for you, just send it off to an editor, and it comes back done nice.
Yeah, I also like the fact that we're having some pro controls. I mean, like I said, if you were thinking about, like, on the fence about getting a Pixel and you weren't really sure, I'm telling you, man, this 8 and the 8 Pro, especially the 8 Pro, man, if you were going to dive in, I would suggest that if you're going to give a Pixel a chance, I would say that this is probably the best time to get in. If you're looking to get an upgrade and maybe come off of a Samsung or an iOS device or whatever, and you want to see what Pixel's about, we don't have advanced copies. We aren't about that life here at the Nomad Tech Project podcast.
I've held one.
He's held one.
I've held one. I'm talking about a Pixel, by the way, guys. Before you get all dirty. Aditya, don't you dare.
I was going to say, Aditya's already there, because I was like, I held one. I'm like,
right, I've held a Pixel 8 Pro.
Right. I like the satin. I do like the satin on the back. And the blue, I like the blue and is it BAE? Is it spelled Bay like that?
No, BAY.
I don't know. If it was spelled BAE, that'd be a lot cooler. That'd be cool if they call it, if they had the Pixel 8 and they had 2 different colors and they had Bay and Fam and Sus. That would be awesome.
Fam.
Now I would get down with that. Yeah, Fam and Sus. That'd be kind of cool, right? Let's see. wait, I want to read Michael's comment because I think he was expanding on what he said. The ones that would allow subscribers have direct financial interest. Oh yeah, okay. That's the angle. Okay, yeah, I get you, and I agree. There's definitely a lot of money, more money floating in and out of their accounts, and now we're at point. Now we're a business, and now we're not exactly true to our roots.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. Yep, I get.
That's what I got from his comment anyway. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking. I guess I was thinking about it more. I didn't want to think about it from that case that, if you're successful, you're automatically on the take and get a bunch of money. So clearly it's going to bend your head, right? I didn't think about it like that. It's definitely an absolutely compelling argument. And I agree with Michael 100% on it. However, I was trying to think of it more of, I wasn't trying to think so much of the profit component. I was thinking more of just content and how it shifts, right? And you've been more successful, things kind of happen. But okay. Can Google be successful though with Pixel? Successful though, I can't think of a company that licensees, Palm West. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if I have a great answer for it. I don't know. I think I definitely think that Google as a company, I don't think they could stop making pixels and they'll be super successful. I don't know. I'm glad that it seems like Pixel is finally starting to get more of
traction.
Get some traction and getting its kind of some of its due. I'm kind of happy about that. And granted, I do like Pixels, and I'm a fan of the devices. So we'll see.
But mate, they literally sponsor everything now. Like any sports event, you'll see Google there somewhere.
Jesus,
literally.
There are so many comments I can't keep up with. This is actually fantastic. You guys are awesome, by the way. God, I just should actually buy it now and wait until future iterations until the company gets either shut down or bought out. Yeah, I guess you can wait. Top Gun Maverick, great movie, by the way. Didn't think I would like it.
It's a great movie.
Remake of it. It's fucking awesome. It's one of my favorites, man. I love that.
Yeah,
movie.
I loved it. Yeah.
People forgot about Android. There's a lot of products outside of phones like automotive. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's Android Auto. There's all sorts of other stuff. Right. Exactly. We're not good. That's a good point, Ibrahim. There's more in the ecosystem than just there's the tablets, there's the watches, there's Android Auto, I get all the the searches, and now although I think Microsoft still has the lead on the AI thing, but I think people are hard at work at Google trying to keep up with that.
Android gaming's got bigger, isn't it, as well? So you got handheld Android devices now.
Yeah, and
that aren't phones.
Google canceled Pixel, they would not be in Android updates anymore. Yeah, if that's what he's acting like, maybe it's an inferred statement, and if he believes that, then that's not true. I mean, I hope he doesn't think that way, because that's just. I think he's responding to my AI face comment. That's how behind we are. I'm not doubting it's useful. It's actually really kind of cool. I'm just saying, I guess I'm an old head. I don't know. It's just it's starting to get a little like, okay, just put faces on shit. It's like, okay, that's cool. I mean, but we had Android, we've had Adobe Photoshop for 100 years, so it doesn't really matter. Like,
I mean, it'd be weirder if there's putting a totally different face on a different body. Right.
And see, I'm not the only one. There is another person. The face swaps when you have more than one person in photos, making it a bit uncomfortable. Like I said, it's just, I think the technology is awesome and it's really handy, and I get its uses. And for regular people, I think it's fantastic. I'm just, I'm trying not to be the tinfoil hat guy here. Earth is flat, like the fucking, they're putting they're putting microchips in the fucking COVID vaccines, right? I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just saying with AI, there's going to be a lot of hard discussions going forward in the next 10 years about how AI works and how AI is integrated into our lives. Because I will tell you, this is the only part where I know that we might be in some trouble when AI can create its own AI.
Yeah,
that's when it's going to start getting interesting, because like Elon Musk said, I don't like most of the things that Elon said, because I think he's generally kind of an idiot. He likes to run his mouth a lot. Sometimes I'm just like, dude, I would say that shit if I had fucking money, which he does. He can do what he wants. But he said that let's just hope when the robots take over that they like us. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying when AI can self-generate and it can make its own AI without human control, intervention, or any kind of oversight, That's going to get a little weird around here. I'm just saying, because remember, they're running into problems with weapon systems because they have a targeting profile for, like, in military applications. And the AI says, well, your targeting package doesn't maximize kill ratios. I'm going to give it a better approach. Well, there's maybe reasons why you're not hitting those targets, right? You might be doing it for some political reason or whatever. The AI is not looking at that. It's saying, hey, you have a weapon system. Your job is to kill people and destroy stuff. Here's a better algorithm. I can make your kills more effective by using this targeting package and doing that instead, and overriding the system and saying, no, I'm going to do it better. That's where it becomes a real interesting conversation. So I'm saying AI in the next 20 years is going to be an interesting conversation on its application, use, development, and how it integrates with people. I'm just saying, it's going to be an interesting world. By that time, I'll be 65 years old, and hopefully, I won't be long for the world, and it's like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So, yeah.
I saw an interesting product.
Okay, so that's kind of uses burst mode. Okay, that's fine. Just saying, though.
That's what I was saying. It just uses burst mode, so you can...
It's okay.
Because sometimes it would be very subtle. Like, it would just be, in one picture they're looking down, the other one they're looking up. Or one they're not smiling, one they are smiling. It could be very, very subtle change. Right. It won't be as freaky as what you think sometimes.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think there's people like Sean, right, where the smaller pixel just is too small, and he's really going to go to the 8. So that's what's nice about it, is the fact that the 8 Pro is there for people who aren't really into the smaller form factors. There's a phone for you, right? You can kind of move. Now you got to pay for it. Dan can't wait for video boost. I'm major embarrassment. That's funny. Yeah, there's so many comments here. Well, here we go. Have I been staying hydrated this weekend? Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, this morning I went to play golf, and I forgot that all the people I play with are in Mississippi for a golf trip. So I got there at 7:45, and there was nobody there. And I was like, well, shit, I drove, I was like, well, I'm already here. Fuck it. So I played a whole 18 by myself. Did okay. Not great. I mean, it's pretty much my typical golf game. I will tell you that I played an entire 18 in 2 hours and 13 minutes. Pretty good. I mean, I move quickly. I mean, I suck, but I just suck quickly, right? That's just kind of how it works.
Talking of AI, Sam, just quickly, I saw an interesting product by a company called Humane. It's called the AI pin.
Okay.
You should look it up. It's very, very interesting.
What's it? AI? What?
It's an AI pin.
PIN?
PIN, yeah. AI pin.
AI pin.
Look it up. It just sort of sits on your jacket or your top like a pin badge.
Oh, okay. Humane's new wearable AI demo is wild. Is that what we're talking about? Humane AI pin.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Oh, well, it's a Verge article. Oh, fuck. Okay, whatever. It's fine. I don't care. Let's see.
Humane AI pin. Oh, is it?
Okay, let's see.
Paris Fashion Week.
Oh, well, that's automatically awesome. Let's see. Here we go. Humane. By former Apple employees is making fewer. All we know is Humane continues to be mysterious about AI, how the AI pin works. What exactly? Last he saw this gadget, he used it as a voice assistant, made phone calls, received an automated summary of his day, took a picture to get nutrition info on a chocolate bar. Nutrition info on a chocolate bar. It's not good for you, fuckhead. It's a chocolate bar. A projected small green screen in his hand. Okay. Imran Chowdhury. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, it's like a wearable pin that it goes basically. It's a wearable, constantly listening Google Assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. But then we're running the other Google Glass, right? If you're in a private setting, well, I can tell you right now, I'd never be able to use it where I work. There's going to be some restrictions on people who have, sensitive jobs, or if they're in areas where, you're going into like a courtroom or, places where you could record, we're in that same kind of ballpark, right? It's one of those kind of things where,
Yeah, I'm assuming you'd be able to turn it off though. Like,
and that's interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to go. It's a little, it depends on what they do with it. Let's see. And here's Peter's got Humane is trying to be the next computing device. What happens after you move away from glass screens? Yeah, and then we're like wearables, like, and then now the pin. Yeah, I think it was kind of, so. I guess with the pin, did he like in order it projected it onto his hand? I guess he held it up to where the pin, so there's like little thing that could project.
Yeah,
I guess what would look like it looked like a watch interface is what it looked like, right?
It translated something in his voice in a different language, which was quite good.
Joe, I don't hear you.
Don't hear me?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yeah. Can everyone else hear me?
Everybody in the chat, can you do me a favor? Can you actually hear Joe, or am I not hearing him for some reason? This is why I don't like switching in here, because now I can't hear him. Let's see. So let's see anybody. Okay, they can hear you both. I just can't hear you, Joe, which is weird. Don't know why.
Oh, that is weird. I can hear you.
That sucks, but hey, we're at an hour anyway, so that's okay. You can hear you both. They can hear us both. Okay, cool. So that's kind of cool, man. Well, hell, we're already at an hour, so I guess we're just gonna have to plow through, right? I don't know what happens, but for some reason, it's like as soon as I did that screen share, I can't hear. Has I finally gone deaf? No, I can still hear shit. I just can't hear Joe, which sucks because I really like hearing Joe.
I think it's where the tab.
So I'm just gonna look at your face and let you talk. That's what I'm gonna do. Because yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure why the audio went kind of haywire. Snap your fingers. No. Yeah, and well, anyway, you're a fucking dick. That's not cool. I'll do sign language. Yeah, there he goes. He's gonna do sign language. He's gonna be like this. So actually, we forgot to mention, Joe, with other sponsor, right? extremeskins.co.uk. So remember, in your shit, hashtag skin your shit. That's a good thing. Like I said, they still even have, skins for this. I kind of in a weird spot because I want to skin my Fold 5, but however, I have the S Pen case and it's not clear. So I'm in a weird spot. Like I want to keep using the S Pen case, but I want to have some flexibility, like either going naked with the Fold or having a clear case so I can, put a skin on it from extremeskins.co.uk. So that way, so I'm in this weird spot. Like if I, you know what I mean? I'm like, I have the S Pen case. I need the S Pen case, but it's not clear. So it's like, I don't know what to do.
There must be clear cases like that. There must be.
Dude, this sucks. I can't believe I can't hear Joe. It's pissing me off, man. I can't. Oh, yeah, skin's so good. But yeah, but you can. And Joe's got, also I'm sure, I haven't checked the website, and maybe Joe has, but I'm sure they're already prepared for the 8 and the 8 Pro, right? They're ready to go with all their skins.
Oh, without doubt.
New stuff coming on there. So yeah, go check them out. So if you're getting the 8 and 8 Pro, but the problem is you bought the blue and you really want to show off the blue. But at some point, the blue is going to get scratched up, or maybe just want a little bit of a change. And you're thinking, hey, how could I change the look of my phone and protect it at the same time? Not from drops necessarily, but I just want to give it a new look, give it some fresh color, and kind of, do it from a company that really makes good quality products. Check them out. Don't be buying the other brands. I know they're probably good. I know they are sponsored by all the famous fuckers. So that's fine. But they're a good group of folks. They're in the UK. They're great group of people as far as their customer support. If you have a problem, you have a question, you have an issue, they're really responsive. I made a mistake one time. I ordered the wrong skin. I ordered it for a Switch Lite, but I just wasn't paying attention because I was in a hurry, and I just emailed them real quick, and wham! They fixed the order, and they said, "Hey, would you like to get that same skin on a Switch?" I said, "Yeah, I just want to change the order. Do I have to cancel it?" They said, "No, we'll modify in our system. We'll modify our warehouse. We'll change the invoice. We'll send you out another one to confirm it, and we'll just ship you out a Switch skin." Cool,
nice,
done.
Man.
That easy, right? Super, super great group of folks. Prices are better than the other competitors that are in that space. So absolutely, make sure you check them out. Skin your shit. extremeskin.co.uk. Go check them out and tell them that we sent you, because that's awesome.
Something else about Extreme Skins is the texture. If you're going to go caseless, get Extreme Skins because they've got a nice bit of grip on them. Sam didn't hear any of that, but that's fine.
So absolutely. So anyway, and they are great, but yes, they don't have the Kirby Oppo Find X Pro. Well, I would suggest emailing them because I didn't think for a while they were going to do the Duo and the Duo 2. And I don't think they did it because I had inquired about it. I think other people were inquiring about it, but they actually made skins for the Duo. I actually still had it, that green camo, which was an awesome skin on my Duo 2. So maybe you should reach out to them and ask them, and maybe they can come up to something. Maybe if enough people ask about the Find X Pro or the Find X5, or maybe they'll hook you up, and maybe they won't, but just trying to do all that. So Dan's taking off. So Joe, I think I know this goes out on ice, so we're cracking on. Yeah, we're just cracking on. So that's all.
Just cracking on, yeah.
So it looks like Dan's taking off because I think he's probably listening to the chat. And thank you so much, Dan, for still being on a holiday and participating in the chat, man. That really is awesome. So I guess, Joe, we've had a good beginning of the season. Again, we're going to start we're going to be doing the kind of things where we're starting to have some other guests. We're going to have Andrew again. We'll have Fat Produce on, some other of those folks. And we need to get Juan. Actually, we kind of broke our protocol because usually our first episode of the season is with Juan.
Episode 1.
Yeah, he's our number one fan, right? I didn't reach out to him, so this is okay. We just decided to do that. So we're just going to keep cracking on. But yeah, we're going to call it night just because we're at the hour, and I'm trying to also in this new season, I'm trying to keep it closer to an hour because I think we were kind of pushing like the hour 20, 25 minute. And I don't know, maybe, and here's the thing, that's another thing. If you guys give us some feedback, is that okay? I know for the live chat, it's good because we're all in the live chat. I'm just thinking about the people who are listening to this afterwards. Are they going to really want to sit there and kind of plow through an hour and 20 minutes? Maybe they are, maybe they don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that might be something we want to talk about, but I'd like to keep it, at least in this season, closer to the hour, unless you have a guest and we're talking through a lot of cool stuff and we're having today, I want to keep going, but it's just like the audio.
But you can't hear me, so
yeah, the audio
makes it impossible.
And to be honest with you, so we're at that point, but anyway, so we really appreciate, like I said, today was an awesome show. We had a lot of guests, a lot of people participating. The chat was out of control. Like I was reading through comments, and I know that's partly because of the conversation about the Pixel, but also it's just because you guys are always such a great group to come with. And actually, I'm telling you, I don't know how Joe feels. I'm sure it's the same way, but I look forward to these Sundays. Like when we're getting to that 2:00 or 3:00 time, and I know, even if it's just me and Joe, obviously if we have a guest, I really obviously want to talk to the guests and kind of get involved. But really when it's just me and Joe, it's so much more fun watching all you guys really try to get in here and contribute and talk and have conversations, not with us, but with each other, and kind of go back and forth. Man, I'm telling you, it's really awesome. You guys are really a fantastic group. And I look forward to this. I mean, I'm not only just doing it, but it really is nice to have at least some people in the chat engaging, asking questions, having a conversation. And don't also, I almost forgot. Join the MeWe group. Also do that as well. Yep.
That's what I was about to say.
I almost forgot. I'm thinking, me and Joe, right? Season 3, we're synced up, right? We're all that shit. So yeah, check out our MeWe page, and it's on our YouTube. Do we post it on our Twitter, or we need to put that where there's a link? Okay. Yeah. We'll make sure. But yeah, go check it out. And there's some simple questions that if you're listening to our channel, you should be able to figure that out in 10 seconds. But yeah, the MeWe group is great. I need to do a better job of contributing and participating in that too. So we're going to do that. We're not going to do the Discord thing because everybody does Discord, and MeWe kind of does that. I think actually MeWe is a really good platform. I think a lot of people should check it out. So I like the MeWe group. So we'll try that. And join the MeWe group. And we'd like to see you guys there and have these conversations throughout the week. And good for feedback, good for conversations about stuff to talk about, all that kind of fun stuff. So check us out. We would like to have you there. So, Joe, I know I can't hear you, but is there anything we want to end on the show? Any last thoughts before we end it today?
Nope, I'm all good.
Okay. Well, Joe's feeling satisfied about our first show of season 3. So thanks everybody for coming by. Again, awesome chat. Love the engagement. There's so many people, Jimmy and the DT and Barry Johnson and Peter, and I see Malik was in there somewhere. Yeah, I did see Malik. Yeah, there he is right there. And thanks for showing up. And like all the other Dan on vacation and holiday and everybody that's in the chat. Thanks for coming by. We'll be back next Sunday. I don't know. We don't have a guest lined up. I'm going to start doing some reaching out. I might reach out to Andrew and we might start our schedule, but we may not have a guest. I don't know, but we will have a show. So that's going to happen.
We'll have a show, yeah.
Anyway, so for myself and for Joe, again, by the time we have this discussion, Pixels might be in people's hands. We'll have more talks about those. Enjoy whatever device you're using, whether it's an Oppo, a Pixel, an iPhone. Enjoy your tech. Have good conversations. Be respectful of each other and be excellent to each other. And we'll see you all next Sunday for another episode of the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe. Love you guys. See you next Sunday.
Bye.
Take care.